The UK's health system is done for. I worked in it, I've seen it. This video will tell you everything I have seen and experienced so far. National Health Service, or the NHS, was once a symbol of pride, a system built on the belief that healthcare should be free at any point. Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, young, old, you turn up, you get seen, and no, you don't get 5k bill for a broken toe. Sounds good, right? In principle, it's amazing. In practice, that's where the chaos begins. Someone who works inside the system, I can tell you, most of the frustrations we face aren't because staff don't care or aren't working hard enough. It's the system that's broken, and it's the patients who unfortunately pays the price. One major issue that we have within the system is training. There are significantly fewer training positions available for key roles like doctors, physician associates, and even advanced nurse practitioners. We're told that NHS needs more staff, and yes, that's true, but if you're not investing in proper training slots, how exactly are we supposed to get more staff? It's stupid. You have thousands of bright, qualified people desperate to enter healthcare, but the door is only half shut. They're just left waiting. And even when they do get in, they're tossed into understaffed departments and told just cope. This goes to the next issue, the work environment, and I'll be blunt, absolute crap. I remember a summer in one of the GP practices I worked at. No air conditioning in the middle of a heat wave. One small old fan shared between rooms, and there was about 16 clinicians and about 30 administration staff working in the building. And no, opening the windows did not help in the heat wave. It only made it worse. It's not just the GP clinics. I've seen it in the hospital wards too. It's one aircon unit for an entire corridor, and that's supposed to be cool. That's supposed to cool the entire ward. There are about 8 to 12 rooms including the corridor. It's brutal, and honestly, this isn't just about being sweaty. These are clinical places that need to be safe, comfortable, and functional. If you can't even keep the staff from overheating, how do you expect them to perform at their best? They really need to seriously look into upgrading facilities, and things like having an aircon is a must. Work-life balance is also a huge thing. Depending on your specialty, it can be non-existent. It's like a unicorn. Everyone's heard of it, but no one's ever seen it. My friend works in A&E, which stands for Accident and Emergency. Her rota is done every 6 months in advance. This means if she wants time off, you need to know half a year in advance. It's ridiculous. If she wants to go to a wedding or a spontaneous weekend away to save her sanity, too bad. It's absolute bullshit. When I heard about this, I literally told her to switch jobs because it's so unhealthy, and honestly, it sounds like hell. Long holidays like taking time off for 1 to 2 weeks needs notice. Fair enough. But this kind of rigid, inflexible scheduling makes it really hard to live like a human being. She did mention that on rare occasions, she's able to switch shifts with her colleagues to get the annual leave day, and this is how she copes. But come on, that's really annoying. The amount of faff, the amount of hard work you need to put in just to get the bare minimum, just that one day off. It's ridiculous. Now, thinking back to those university days, one of my favorite areas used to be working in the emergency ward, and honestly, I'm glad I got rejected. After listening and seeing my close friends working in this department, I would have hated it. The hours are so unfriendly, with 3 to 4 10-hour shifts a week, with night shifts thrown in. I have had many conversations with nurses, doctors, technicians, etc. about working night shifts, and it's brutal. It honestly messes up everything. Respect to those who manages it, but honestly, I don't think that should be normal. I now work in family medicine, aka general practice, as a medical associate. I do the normal 9 to 5 hours. I run patient clinics where I see about 25 patients per day, and then I have my admin time. This is where, I chase bloods, action blood tests, reading discharge letters, following on care plans, etc. When I started out, I thought it was extremely demanding. I have roughly 10 minutes per patient to ensure my clinic doesn't run late, and of course, at the end of the clinic, there are a ton of admin tasks, which I would say takes up so much of my time. I have worked there for a while now, and I would say it's okay. It's manageable, but only if I organize my time well. The workload doesn't go away. You just have to work smarter or you get swamped. There are times I work through my break and only take 5 to 8 minutes to eat something really quickly, then to go back to work again. But there are also days which I have extra time to relax. Very rare though, but yeah. Going back to the topic of how messed up this system is, I have had patients wait 10 months to 2 years for a routine surgery or even just a diagnostic scan. 2 whole years. That's not just frustrating, it's dangerous. They come to me in pain, hoping for a solution, but all I can offer is strong pain relief and maybe physio if you're lucky. That's the part I hate, the helplessness, because the real solution would be for the speciality to see the patient and move forward with their care, for example, a knee surgery. There are times where the referral I have made often get cancelled after patients already waiting 6 to 8 months, and I'm left to explain this to the patient. The worst thing is the reason for the cancellation is not even given to us in full detail. Things like capacity issues or missed appointments, even when patients didn't receive an appointment letter. There's also issues with follow-ups. A patient finally gets seen by a specialist, then hears nothing all year round. No discharge letter, no update, no idea if they're going to be seen again. We don't know either because we haven't been kept in the loop. This is not okay. Basic communication between departments should be standard. I'm having to then contact the secretary to chase this up or email these departments to expedite certain referrals or follow-ups and having to call their teams to organize this. This then creates more work for me and delays my workload. These are the days where I have to stay behind at work or work through my lunch, and honestly, if it gets sorted, it would have been worth the stress. But most of the time, I'm left hanging with, I'll let the doctor know, or the reception would say, I'll see what I can do. Now, people love to blame COVID, and don't get me wrong, the pandemic did stretch the system, but the issue I have mentioned above were bubbling long before COVID ever came along. The real problem? Budgeting, planning, mismanagement over the years, and not just funding hasn't kept up with the rising demands. The population is growing, people are living longer, chronic illnesses are on the rise, yet the investment nowhere near what it needs to be. And even the money we do get, half the time nobody knows where the money is going to. You've got tech that doesn't work, buildings falling apart, and training pipelines that are completely underfunded. Now here's a spicy topic, the junior doctor strikes. I know this will be controversial, but I gotta put it out there. Don't always think it's justified. Yes, junior doctors are underpaid at the start, but that's how the training portfolio is structured. Foundation doctors start at a lower salary. I mean, honestly, I say lower, right? But honestly, I would say it's average. I'll let you compare the pay to other jobs, considering it's the starting salary. Anyways, the pay is what it is because they're in training, and as they progress through the system, their pay goes up. That's the structure. By the time you hit consultant level, you're earning approximately 90 to 100k a year as a starting pay, and considering the speciality, it would be much higher. That's not pennies. So when junior doctors strike every few months, it can feel disruptive and honestly demoralizing for the rest of us trying to hold the service together. The real fight should be about conditions, staffing, and sustainable working environments. Now, at last, let's talk about the elephant in the room. AI. Artificial intelligence is already starting to reshape healthcare. There are already tools being developed that can read X-rays, CT scans, MRIs, and even diagnose abnormalities more accurately than some radiologists. The official line is, it's just to assist you. Yeah, for now. But think about it. If a machine can do 80% of what a radiologist does, then what happens next? Fewer radiologists gets hired, budgets gets cut, departments gets reshuffled, and slowly but surely we lose more human roles. Not because the tech is evil, but because the system will use it to cut corners. AI could be helpful, but only if it's used to support, not replace.
They told you radiologists would be the first to go, and then maybe pathologists, but your specialty, no, that would be safe. It's too human, too complex, too hands-on, right? Wrong. Medicine is far more algorithmic than doctors are willing to admit. And if your job has an algorithm, even one buried under years of training and nuance, AI is coming for it. That means every specialty is on the table. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it because most doctors are still walking around like AI is some far-off sci-fi threat. But it's not. It's already here. And it's coming for you too. Let's start with where the AI conversation usually begins. Radiology and pathology. Chest x-rays, CT scans, biopsy slides. You can feed millions of these into a model, let it train, and then suddenly it's catching things even the best specialists miss. But the consensus, even from the radiologists and pathologists that I've spoken with who are deeply involved in AI research, isn't that AI is replacing them entirely. Not yet, anyway. It's that AI is becoming the great augmenter. It handles the grunt work, flags subtle anomalies, and enables the human doctor to work faster and more accurately. Now, I know this sounds comforting, but if you think AI is stopping there, you're missing the bigger picture. Because once you understand what made radiology vulnerable, you start to see the same patterns in every other specialty. Here's the key point I want you to grasp. Every single medical specialty, no matter how artistic or human it may seem, has an underlying algorithm at its core. You might call it your clinical intuition, your gut feeling, or your years of experience, but if you peel back the layers, you'll find structured principles. Every diagnosis, every treatment plan, every single decision you make, even the seemingly complex ones, are built on logical steps. And that is why AI is coming for everyone. Of course, real-world medicine isn't just clean logic. It involves incomplete information, social determinants of health, and human complexity. But solving these complications and complexities still requires structured thinking. And AI is increasingly being trained to navigate the gray areas too.
Imagine how 10 to 20 years would look like in healthcare. Kinda scary. Anyways, that's all for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you later. Bye!
You'll have to keep fighting until you have a winner. Step aside.
We need fear the old no longer.
Behold the god of thunder!